What is up, my tough trainers? I'm Lance, and today I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite electric type Pokemon. About a week ago, I counted down my top 10 favorite fairy type Pokemon, and in that video, I said you guys could vote for whether you want to see me count down my top 10 favorite grass or electric type Pokemon, and grass lost the voting by quite a lot, so today I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite electric type Pokemon. In the comment section below on this video, you guys can vote for whether you want to see me count down my top 10 favorite grass type Pokemon or my top 10 favorite fighting type Pokemon in the next top 10 video that I do. And please keep in mind that this list is 100% opinion based, which means if you don't agree with my list, let me know your top 10, top 5, or even top 1, 2, or 3 electric type Pokemon. Kicking off this list today at number 10, we have got a steel and electric type Pokemon, Magnezone. Magnezone just looks like one big giant magnet. I reckon it looks really awesome. That is the main reason it is actually on this list. And I did use it a bit the first time I played through Pokemon White 2. And I thought it was pretty cool to use. I thought it was one of the best electric type Pokemon that was in the game. And it has got very good defense and special attack, so that is why it is here on this list. At number 9, we have got the Evolution Jolteon. I've never really used Jolteon much in any Pokemon games, but I have used it a little bit in competitive battling, and it's been a pretty good Pokemon to use. It has got very good speed and special attack, it can hit very hard, and out of all of the evolutions, I'd have to say that I think Jolteon probably has the coolest design. It looks pretty badass if you ask me, and that is why it is at number 9 on this list. At number 8, we have got a Pokemon that in my opinion is pretty cute. It is an electric mouse. It is not Pikachu, it is Raichu. I know a lot of people don't like evolving their Pikachu because of the anime, how Ash's Pikachu didn't want to evolve, but I always evolve my Pikachu when I use it because I really like Raichu. I reckon it looks really cool, and I had a Raichu in my team the first time I ever beat the champion, which was in Pokemon Diamond, and a lot of my friends were using Luxray, so I wanted to do something a bit different, and I really liked using Raichu. It has got pretty good speed, and it has got okay attack and special attack, and that is why it is here. At number 7, we have got an electric type Pokemon that I've only really started liking a lot recently, and that is mostly because of its Mega Evolution, and it is Manectric. Manectric is probably one of the best electric type Pokemon you can get in Pokemon Emerald, and the first time I played through Pokemon Emerald, I had a Manectric in my team, which was a pretty cool Pokemon to be using, and I reckon Manectric looks pretty cool, but its Mega Evolution looks way better, and looks really good, and its Mega Evolution has crazy high speed and special attack. It hits so hard, and it has got to be one of my favorite Mega Evolutions. At number 6, we have got an electric type Pokemon that probably would have been a bit higher up on this list if I had have made this list a few years ago, and it is Electivire. I've never really used Electivire much in competitive battling because of its pretty average stats, but I have used it in Pokemon Heart Gold and I really enjoyed using it. And the main reason it is on this list is because of its looks. I think Electivire has one of the coolest designs out of every Pokemon that exists, and on this list I would have to say it is one of the coolest looking Pokemon by far. There might be a couple of other Pokemon that I would consider looking slightly better than this Pokemon here, but I reckon Electivire looks really badass, and that is just why I love it so much. But I mean, because it doesn't have great stats, that's why it's not higher up on this list. And I think it'd be cool if this thing was part fighting type. At number 5, we have got a Pokemon that is not here because of its looks, but it is here because of some of the amazing things it can do in battle. It is the electric and bug type Pokemon Galvantula. Firstly, Galvantula can get the ability Compound Eyes, which boosts the accuracy of all of its attacks by I think about 20%, which means if you give this guy Thunder, it will nearly always hit, and it will nearly always do a lot of damage. Galvantula has got very good speed and special attack, and it also gets the move Bug Buzz, which can do some pretty good damage, and it gets the move Sticky Web, which is one of my favorite moves to use. If you set up a Sticky Web, when your opponent brings in a Pokemon, their speed will be lowered by 1 stage, so it is definitely an awesome move to have. I think Galvantula looks okay, but honestly, if it wasn't for Compound Eyes and Sticky Web, it'd probably be at the very top of this list, or maybe even not on this list at all. But I have used Galvantula in Pokemon Black, and it was pretty cool to use, so that is why Galvantula is here. At number 4, we have got the electric and ghost type Pokemon Rotom. I really like Rotom, and I used it once when I played through Pokemon Platinum, and it became one of the strongest members on my team. I never really thought about using Rotom, but then once I thought I would, and it is really cool. It gets the ability Levitate, which means it cannot be affected by ground type attacks. That gets rid of one of its biggest weaknesses and makes it so cool to use. It is such a good electric type Pokemon, and it is used a lot in competitive battling because it can change forms, and when you change its form, its type will change. So I think it's got about 5 or 6 different forms, and I'd have to say Rotom Wash is probably its most popular form, and it's probably my favourite form, and it's probably the best form to use in competitive battling because it becomes electric and water. And I honestly think all of the Rotom forms look really cool, so that is why Rotom is at number 4 today. At number 3, we have got an electric type Pokemon from Generation 2 that I used to not really like the design of, but now I like its design quite a bit more. It is Ampharos. I used Ampharos quite a bit in Pokemon Heart Gold because my favourite Generation 2 starter is Chikorita, and the first gym is Flying type, so Chikorita is not good for the first gym. But before you take on the first gym, you can get yourself a Mareep very, very early on in the game, so I often pick up a Mareep near the start of my Heart Gold playthroughs that I do. And when it becomes an Ampharos the Mareep, it is always an awesome Pokemon. It is one of the best electric type Pokemon you can get in Generation 2 in my opinion. It has got very good special attack, I think it looks pretty good, and it has got an awesome Mega Evolution. Got a new Mega Evolution which is part Dragon, and it has got pretty good defense and special defense when it becomes Mega. And it also gets the ability Mold Breaker, which means that its attacks can do damage no matter what type your opponent is pretty much. So, for example, if there is a Pokemon that is part ground type, you would be able to affect it with an electric type attack because of the Mold Breaker, so it's definitely an awesome ability for it to have. And I thought it was really cool how in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver and the games from Generation 2, at the top of the lighthouse in Olivine City, I'm pretty sure it was, there is a sick Ampharos that lights up the lighthouse. I just thought it was pretty cool to think that at the top of a lighthouse is an electric type Pokemon, Ampharos. At number 2, we have got another Pokemon that is only here because of its looks, just like Electivire. It is Zebstrika. The first time I played through Pokemon Black, I was originally going to have a Galvantula on my team until I ran into a Blitzel. I just looked at it and thought, this thing needs to become part of my team. I thought it looked so good. It is an awesome looking Zebra Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure it is the first Zebra type Pokemon that was introduced to the game. It can have the ability either Sap Sipper or Lightning Rod. Sap Sipper gives you immunity to grass type attacks, Lightning Rod gives you immunity to electric type attacks, and Zebstrika has got pretty good speed and it's got okay attack, also okay special attack, so I guess you could run a mixed Zebstrika. But yeah, it is just mostly here because of its looks. I think it looks so awesome, and it is probably one of the coolest looking Pokemon on this list. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to number 1 on today's list. After a little bit of consideration, I've decided that the Pokemon at number 1 on this list today is the coolest looking Pokemon on this list, and it is Luxray. Surely you guys thought that Luxray would be somewhere on today's list, and it is actually at the very top. I've used Luxray a lot in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. You can get it very early on in the game, like it's straight away after you've learned how to catch Pokemon, and it is a really solid electric type Pokemon. It has got really good attack, but unfortunately it has got really low speed. It doesn't really look like a slow Pokemon, so that kind of lets it down a bit. And I reckon it should be part dark type like a lot of other people say, just because it looks like it would be, and it would give it stab from Crunch, which would be pretty nice. But Luxray is still really cool in my opinion. It can have the ability either Intimidate or Guts. Intimidate will lower the target's attack, and Guts will boost your attack by 50% when you're burned, poisoned, or paralyzed. So that can be a pretty cool ability to have. And Luxray is just here because of how cool it looks. Whenever I see a Shinx in the wild, I always think to myself, oh, I really want to catch this. I really want to use this just because of how cool it looks. And that is why it is at number 1 today. So that brings us to the end of another top 10 video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next top 10 video. Don't forget to vote for whether you want to see me count down my top 10 favorite grass type or my top 10 favorite fighting type Pokemon, and stay tough.